Legend Line, we back. It's your host, Jonchi, and today I'm with my special guest. We got Galaz from the Bibbs Foundation. How you doing today?
Hi, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. And so I just want to start it off. I know you got a big event coming up, a school drive. Talk about it.
Yeah, so we're having our annual back to school bash. This year is a little bit different. We're going to have local vendors. So we're going to have somebody who does snow cones, somebody who sells desserts. And we're also going to be giving away school supplies, book bags, and anything else that K through 12th grade students might need for the school year. And then we also have some really dope giveaways. We're doing a 1 or 2 night stay at a local Airbnb in Atlanta. We're also giving out jasmine hair accessories. So you guys should come join us July 23rd from 12:30 to 4:30 at Rodney Cook Senior Park.
For sure. I want to circle back to something you said. Okay. Airbnb? Mm-hmm. 1 night stay? 2 night stay?
Yeah, 1 or 2 nights.
Y'all doing it up. That's crazy.
Depending on the availability, but yes.
That's crazy. Y'all lit for sure. So what was the motivation behind this? Like, what inspired you to just, okay, I'm going to do a school drive?
Honestly, I just like to, I feel like I'm a giving person. And honestly, I just come from, a big family. And sometimes, I realize, and I'm a very, community-orientated person. So I realize sometimes people lack certain things. And so I just wanted to give my 10% to. I'm very, I like to give back. And I'm just like, well, how can I give my 10%? You know how people give to churches or some things? I was like, well, let me give my 10% in a way where I can kind of allocate and see where the money is going and see how it's helping. So I decided to give to the kids because they're the future. I have to help build the future.
That's dope. That's dope. So you talked about a 10%. Are you religious? Do you tithe?
I believe in God.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say I'm a super religious person. I would say I'm more spiritual. But yeah. Okay. So one more time, what's the date? What's the date of the school drive? It's July 23rd from 12:30 to 4:30 at Rodney Cook Senior Park, downtown Atlanta.
For sure. Tap in.
Also, we will be having a special guest. We'll have Multi Fitness. They will be coming out for a little while, doing a training session, and also getting some information to parents and students about health and fitness. Nowadays, everybody's trying to get that mental right. They're trying to look good. So we just want to help provide them with different ways to be able to do that.
Most definitely. Again, tap in. She's still accepting donations. Y'all go ahead and
We are still accepting donations. Monetary donations or school supplies, anything that you want to give, if you want to volunteer. If you just want to come out and just show support, or if you just want to bring your kids along, let them have a fun day outside, and also be able to get some stuff and get some raffles, you should come join us.
Most definitely. But just to formally introduce you to the Legend Line viewers, I want to get your whole story. And we're going to talk about, how you got to the point of the school drive and, the Bibbs Foundation. But we're going to definitely get into that. But so talk about your upbringing. What does that look like? Or what did it look like? Young Galaz.
My upbringing was non-traditional.
Talk about it.
So I have a huge family. I have a lot of different siblings or whatever. So my upbringing was pretty straight, honestly. I did a lot of things. I was open to a lot of things as well. I feel kind of growing up, I was raised by a single mom, but my dad was in and out. So you know how that is. But I'm the second oldest on my mom's side. Shoot, it's 7 of us, and then my dad, he has us 7 plus 14. No, I'm sorry, he has us 7 plus.
Good God.
He has us 7 plus 7 more, so he has 14 altogether.
Okay.
So I'm the second oldest from her, the second oldest girl, and the third oldest girl from him. Okay. And, it's just in a big family, people play certain roles, and I just feel I just kind of took on that boss type of second or third parent type of role. Yeah, and that's kind of how that went.
For sure. So you said you grew up with a single parent mother.
Yeah.
Dad was kind of in and out. How did that affect you?
I feel it affected me in a way usually that kind of hinders people. For me, I was just this is not I just kind of started to plan my life from the beginning, what I want. I feel it also kind of made me not more tough, but just I just don't really I don't really deal with too much bullshit.
Resilient.
Especially when it comes to people, it's just if it's not really the way I want it, and not saying it has to be exactly how I want it, but like I have a vision for how things should play out and how it should go. Like I'm very like, I try to look at the person like I want to be when I become 40, 50, or like how I want to be in my community, or the roles I want to play. And so I just try to be that.
No. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you for sure. Like shit, discipline gonna take you further than motivation never will. So it's really about habits, like you're saying.
It's hard to create habits, so I'm in that
good
routine.
Habits.
It's hard. Like I'm in that thing right now. Like I feel like last year, like I quit my job and I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. And so, you know, well, y'all don't know, but started contract, did like a little entrepreneur journey. And so right now I just feel like I'm kind of back in the same position. Like, so I'm just like, okay, what type of habits do I want to create? And so I just started like monitoring my weeks. And I realized like I'm a nappy girl. Like I be liking to take naps, especially after I work out. It's just like I work out, shower, eat something, maybe might scroll on my phone. Well, honestly, I probably just scroll on my phone. Maybe read a book or something. But after that, like your girl is taking a nap. And I realized, like, I incorporate a nap a lot in my day. And I'm just like, you know, did I deserve this nap? Am I even really tired for this nap? Like, you know, I have, like, the reward system. Like, I like to reward myself. I mean, I'm going to still give it to myself regardless, but I feel more accomplished. If
that's contradicted now. I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call you out on some cap. You're going to give it to you. You're going to give yourself the nap if you want it, or are you going to do it if you rewarding yourself?
I'm gonna do it. My goal is to do it to reward myself.
But you still gonna do that shit.
But if I'm tired, like I'm gonna sleep. But like just in life, like if I want something, sometimes like let me do this for the next 2 weeks and I'll give myself a vacation. You know, I feel like your 100% looks different every day, so I just try to not beat myself up if I'm not like going as hard as I did the following day.
Yeah.
Like I try not to beat myself up because I feel like sometimes our mind plays a big part in our life. And, you know, sometimes you do have to rest. Sometimes every day is not going to go exactly how you want it. I feel like as soon as you start trying to try a new journey and things of that nature, everything comes in your life to kind of distract you or block you from that. So it is hard to kind of jump over hoops. And I feel like, too, like a lot of things, like a lot of culture and environments and where you're at, like, plays a big part in, like, your upbringing and how you think and how you move. So trying to break out of that is very hard. And trying to break out of that while you're still in the middle of that is even harder. So, like, I try to give myself grace to, like, okay. Like, I just try to, my new goal now is to, like, evaluate myself quarterly. So, like, every 3 months. I want to start evaluating myself. And just, like, how I'm having fun, because you got to have fun and social in your life. But how am I growing and learning? How I'm improving myself? Am I working out? Like, just things of that. Like, how am I growing? And it could be little growth. Like, you know, right now, I'm on a natural journey, trying to let my hair grow a little bit. So that's my growth. I'm also working out. So come September, I'm going to see how far I have gotten. Might switch it up, might keep it the same. But things of that nature.
For sure. Like you said, just it's about the baby steps, you know, 1% a day. That's all you got to get better. You know, you can't make it happen immediately. We got that microwave mentality. Like this generation of people just like, shit, we want to see the results. So I want to circle back to the upbringing. We didn't talk about, you know, where you was born and raised at.
So I'm born and raised in the east side of Atlanta. I grew up in Lithonia area.
For sure. And then just going back to the school years, or just switching gears and talking about school, like what was Galaz like growing up in school?
In school, honestly, I feel like I really don't remember too much of elementary, middle, or high school. Like I remember certain moments and things of that nature. But I would say like I think middle school really makes a person. Like they say high school does, but I think middle school really makes you, and high school just shapes you. Like middle school is like kind of when you really get into like a teenager, growner kid. Like you kind of start opening your eyes to learn a lot more about different things. You know, like people like know of sex, whether they're actually having it. Some people were, went a little too fast, but you know, some people really weren't. But that's when you start like actually getting to know about that stuff, like drugs and people's like things of that nature. So how was I? I feel like I was kind of the same. Like I was very talkative. I was very selective though. I'm like always been like a selective person. Like
Selective, how so?
Like I love people and stuff, but like I feel like I could chit chat with you, kiki with you, but like I just need my little circle, and I'm really great with that.
For sure.
So I feel like I always was like a friends girl. Like I always had a group of friends or a best friend. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, you graduated high school, right? What college you went to?
I went to West Georgia.
West Georgia. Okay. How was time down there?
West Georgia was it was slow.
How so?
It was just slow. Like, I mean, you coming from the east side of Atlanta, like, you know, and just Atlanta, period. Like, things going on. Like, you know, I had a lit, like, childhood, lit life. And then when you went to college, I'm just like, you see college on TV, like, this about to be fun. I'm just like, college is, like, not as lit as I thought it was. When I went to visit other schools, I was just like, oh, this is fun. But, like, I feel like college is when life started hitting you, too. So it's just like, damn, I got bills to pay. I got to work. You know, it's like you can't really just, you can sit here and cry, but it's like you still got to do it.
Yeah.
So college was like, I feel like college made me into the person who I am now. Grateful for a lot of things and a lot of experiences. One thing I would say though, because I never knew what I wanted to do when I was out of high school. And so I went to college because like, I don't know, but like maybe this can be something. And one benefit that I would say is, now since I'm older, like a lot of people I went to college with, it's like we kind of connect with now. Like I see them out and it's just like, okay, like a little connection, and it's just like, oh, like it opened my connective ranges more.
Yeah. Yeah, you went down there with the right mindset. Sound like when I went to college, I wasn't even thinking about networking. But like in hindsight, I look back at it and I'm like, I was wasting time.
I wasn't thinking about networking. If I can do college again, I would. I would try to finish it in 2 years instead of 4, honestly, because I feel like I could have knocked it out if I was being disciplined. I would have made a lot more connection. But I would have also just took it in, too, because one thing I realized, like, things don't last forever. And sometimes, like, when you're, like, in school, you're so ready for it to be done, but it's just, like, it is going to be done at that point, and what you're going to do then. And not saying you don't have a plan, but it's just, like, you do have to enjoy the moments, because everything helps build you to the person that you're supposed to be.
Yeah, nah, you spot on with that. Like you said, you don't really learn that till you get older, to learn to like live in the moments. Because it's so much times I look back and I reflect on like some good time I was having. I was like, damn, if I could do that over again, I would have did it up so much more. But nah, you spot on.
It's just like about the journey now. Like, you know, like we're always trying to get to the destination. I just realized like sometimes the most fun part is like the journey, like getting ready. Like, it's so fun. Like, I remember prom shopping. It was so fun prom shopping and talking about prom. And this is how I'm going to go. This is what I'm going to do. And you actually get the prom. It's just like, oh, it's all right. But, like, it was like the fun part was getting ready for it, preparing for it. So I'm just like, okay, like, when I have hard times or challenging times, I should be like, you know what? Remember, like, this, you're preparing for whatever you're doing next. So, like, enjoy it. Enjoy the bullshit. Like, okay, this didn't work out this way. Let's try something new.
Yep. No, you're right. Like you said, you got to fall in love with the process, you know? Got to fall in love with the process. Okay, and so went down to West Georgia. What you major in?
I majored in mass communications.
Mass communications. Okay.
I feel like my life has been like, you know, I'm not sure if guys do this, but I know like a lot of girls. Like, you know, when you pick out an outfit, you're like, oh, I'll try on this outfit. It's like, it's cute, but I don't know. Then you try on like maybe 3, 4, 5 more outfits. And then you go back to the first outfit, and it's just like, you know what? I'm going to just wear this. I feel like that's how my life has been. Like, when I was in college, I studied communications and marketing. Then I was just like, I don't know if I really want to do this. I was just like, I like it because it's just like, I like to speak. I like to connect with people. And I like certain things about it. Like I like the television part, didn't like the radio. Like, I like the speaking part, didn't also like the writing part of it. But, you know, like I like certain parts. And I'm just like, okay, let me look at some other majors.
Yeah.
And I'm not a dull person. Like, I cannot be doing the same thing every day. Like, that is not me. So I was just like, and I'm so I can't see certain things. So medical field was out of the picture for me. I wanted to be a lawyer, but I just wanted to be a lawyer just so I can like dress real cute and have a scene where like. That's why I was just like, maybe I'm like, I would just wanted a scene where like I'm walking into a courtroom, like the doors fly open, my hair blowing. Like, I just was like, I really don't want to be a lawyer. I just want to look like play that part. Yeah. So I'm just like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. So I was like back and forth a long time, but like when I graduated, I was like, you know what, I graduated with the right thing.
Yeah.
Now, once you graduate, get into life, trying to figure out what to do with it, it's very challenging. Like, nobody sets you up for life. Like, nobody tells you how hard it is to. You think you just have to go to school and get a degree. It's fucking a challenge to get a job because they're like, oh, you don't have no experience. Oh, they trying to pay you little to nothing. And it's just like, come on, let's be for real. So.
Facts.
And then also like maneuvering too, because I feel like you're young and stuff, and people are like, not that they take advantage, but sometimes in the corporate world, like they know they can use you to their benefit, and it's just like, yeah, you're supposed to use me to your benefit, but I'm supposed to be getting a benefit out of it as well. And that's what I realized. Like after maybe I think the second or third year, I'm just like, let me figure out what I want from whatever I do. And I was just like, if I get a job or if I have a job, it has to be teaching me three things. It has to either be educating me, so it's teaching me something to help me learn a new skill or learn a new something to get to the next level, making more money, like it should be giving me money, or it should be where I should have the flexibility to live life. I was like, I have to at least be getting two of the three things to do a job, or all three. Really, all three is ideal. But if I can get 2 out of the 3, then I'll do it. And that's how I try to move now. Like, I need 2 of the 3 things with anything I'm doing career-wise. If it's not educating me, helping me get to the next level, connecting me with different people, I might say no, I might say yes to it. If I'm not making hella money from it or enough money to support myself and support my lifestyle, then I may or may not do it. And then also flexibility. Nobody, we're very young right now. We're at that fine age. Like, I need to still be enjoying my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you said about the 2 out of 3 thing.
Yeah. Like you said. Because you could, sometimes you got to, what they say, sacrifice.
Yeah.
I don't really believe in sacrifices, but I be trying to be like, okay.
What you mean you don't believe in sacrifice?
So I feel like I'm in a spiritual journey right now, too. So I just feel like.
What you mean spiritual journey, like you taking shrooms and all that?
No, like I just feel like I'm just trying to get closer to God. And he says, like, you should have abundance of everything. So I don't have an abundance of everything. Why do I have to sacrifice? Like, why is this a sacrifice? Like, I feel like that's what I'm very conflicted in right now. Because I shouldn't have to sacrifice because I should be able to get abundance of everything. And so.
You can't have your cake and eat it too, though. You can't.
But he says you can have abundance of everything. Like, if he says that all things are possible through him, you can have abundance of everything. Why can't I have abundance of everything? And then one thing I realized is like, I feel like that's the battle I'm battling with myself, because people like, you have to sacrifice right now. I'm just like, do I? But one thing I'm realizing is that it's a lesson in every blessing. And it's also a blessing in every lesson. So you have to get what you can take from it. And one thing I realized too, like as I'm getting older, like sometimes I went through the same things because I wasn't getting what I was supposed to get out of it, and the same incidents kept happening. So now I'm just trying to like be more mindful of like the lessons I'm being taught.
No, that's big facts. That's big facts. Just switching gears though, I know that you graduated from West Georgia, and then you started up the Bibbs Foundation. Talk about it.
Yeah, so I started the Bibbs Foundation. Honestly, I started it in 2019, but paperwork wise, I started it in 2020. It was like holiday time, and I was just like, I just want to do something for a family. So I ended up buying like this family like Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. And I was just so appreciative. It was like 2 moms, and like they had like 4 kids, and it was just like, like I feel like in the world, it's like poverty is like amongst us. We see it everywhere we look, So it's just like I just want to do my part to help. And I'm like very big on mindset too now, like getting people out of that poverty mindset, because it is a poverty mindset. The things, poverty, fearful, like all of that. So, I end up doing that, and I'm just like, like okay, like I feel like you have to give back. Not that you have to, but it's just like, you bless others, you'll always get blessed. And I always want to be taken care of. So I'm going to do my part. But I was like, this is going to be my 10%. So, like, I started a foundation. At first, it was just like, this is going to be my 10%. So, like, whatever money I get or whatever, I'm just going to donate it and be my 10%. But then I actually started looking into nonprofit organizations. I was blessed to have when I was like I had an internship as like assistant social media marketer or whatever. Mm-hmm. Well, not whatever. I had an internship as assistant social media marketer.
Yeah.
And the organization I was working for was actually a nonprofit organization. I got close with like the CFO, and I became her personal assistant. And then I just kind of got into the nonprofit, and I was just like, okay, let me actually structure my thing out, because it's just like this nonprofit can actually get money. We can actually like cater it to people. And I come from a big family, like, you know, coming from a big family sometimes it's just like you are without sometimes. Like, it's so many people as a one parent household, like people, you know, you are without. So I just wanted to be able to uplift people and be like, you know, just because you are without, like, this is not a forever thing. It just might be right now, but like it's not forever, and like how to maneuver and how to think when things happen. Because I feel like a lot of times, like, especially dealing with like Black people, but people just like we take a lot of losses and we don't know how to really cope with that. We don't really know how to cope with trauma. I feel like, especially like history has shown, like, you know, we've been abused, we've been set in poverty. It's so many like negatives. It's just like, how do we cope with that? Because we live in a world right now where it's so many positive, and we're still trying to heal from the negative effects. So it's just like, that's kind of like, I wanted to incorporate all of that in my nonprofit organization. So by doing it, I realized after talking with people, I had to kind of get in the nitty gritty. Like, okay, you want to help people, you want to be the helping hands of the community, but you have to kind of direct it to something. And this is how you also get funding too. Like, you have to have a specific goal, and in marketing too. Like, I feel like my college career kind of lined up for what I'm doing now, because it's just like, okay, I have a communication and marketing background, so I know how to speak to people. I know how to kind of attract people to what I want them to look at a little bit. So it's just like, let's like get to the why. So my why is to build a better community. I want to teach Black excellence all over. So I was just like, how can I be able to do this? Like, I want to help people's family, but where does it start? It starts with the foundation. And sometimes a lot of grown people are already set in their ways. So how can I hit the people who really needs to be helped and who can take it and be able to take it and carry it and give it? I was just like, let me start with K through 12th grade students, because, you know, especially in the school system, or like you're at school 8 hours a day. Sometimes you see your teachers and friends more than you see your parents sometimes throughout the school year. So it's just like, these are the people I need to hit. Like, we can kind of control that now, especially with all this thing going on with social media. Kids are very much exposed to a lot more things than we were when we were younger. Like, you know, you can see, I feel like you used to have to work so hard to like see like some porn online and stuff, you know? You got to like sneak around. Like, you can just go on Instagram, see it. You can type on, or you could like, you're just exposed to so much, which is beautiful in a way, because like if you're doing it for the right things, you can kind of educate yourself, learn things about. But it's also like a negative effect too, because sometimes you see a lot of bullshit, and you see how people want you to think or how people want you to act. And so I want to help to hit those type of people. Like, how can I help you get control of your mind now? So when you get my age, 26, you know how to think, you know how to maneuver, and you can also explain this to your peers or to your family to bring this back in to kind of build wealth within inside. Like, people always talk about generational wealth. I just feel like, to me, wealthing is also fun. So don't get me wrong, but it's also mindset, it's body, it's soul, it's what you put into your, you know, your body, how you eat, all of that. Like, all of that takes a toll. How you communicate with your people. Like, growing up too, I just realized like people were raised differently, and like they show that in how they communicate. I just feel like too, like in my house, like we didn't really have a communication system. We weren't really effective. And I realized like, damn, like everything I didn't have, like I started learning it. And like subconsciously, like I didn't even realize that. Like I'm realizing that now, like, dang, like when I took in communications, I wasn't thinking of taking it because I didn't know how to communicate. I'm just like, this could be something I'm interested in. But I feel like too, that's kind of how God works too. Like he put people or things in position to be able to do that. And so I feel like my 10%, like my gifts to the world and my gifts to people, is to help build people up and help give a different way of thinking, like get out of this poverty mindset. Like, you know, we are better together. Like I feel like people come from communities and stuff, but like how much is the community actually putting in? And that's what I want to start doing. I want to start putting back into my community so we can learn how to act, so we can think before we speak, so we don't have to get so angry, so people don't have to die. Like all these school shootings, all this bullying and stuff, like all of that, like, you know what that is? It's just insecurity. It's just voids that hasn't been healed. And, you know, life is hard. And imagine you have, like, it's hard living right now. I mean, it's challenging living right now as a 26-year-old adult taking care of myself. Imagine if I had kids. Like, that would be even double. And, like, I'm not getting paid what I want to get paid. I have to work even harder. Like, you know, like, it is I feel like being a person of color, like, you're always neglected sometimes. So it's just like you always have to jump through hurdles and hoops. And it's just like, how can we stop that from happening? Because it's going to happen. So what can we do to prepare ourselves to help each other? So, like, okay, I went through this so the next person doesn't have to go through this. Or if they do go through it, because they might have to go through it. Like, how can I set them up so when they go through it, they know how to handle it? Like, I know Beyonce said something. I want my girl B. She was just like, you know, like, she was like, it's okay, like, be sad. She was like, be sad, take time out for the day. But she was just like, just let it be a day. And I realized that. I remember, like, I even know I was depressed. Like, some days I'd be, like, in the bed and just, like, a day turns to a week, and then it turns into 2 weeks, and then it's, like, a month. And I'm not mad at myself because I'm like, damn, I haven't really been doing much for this month. Just, like, then I start beating myself up, and then it's, like, 3 months, I'm trying to get back into a routine. I'm mad at myself. I'm just like, okay, look, let's get back. Let's realize how we have to talk to ourselves, first of all, how we have to talk to each other. And, like, I don't know, I just feel like community and the people that you have around you plays a big part. When you go through different things that you've never been through, you can, like, always reach out to communicate and speak with someone.
Yeah, for sure. I like that you targeting the kids, too. Because, like you said, shit, it's, these grown folks, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's a wrap, but I feel like, too, I do feel like grown people are like, they're more hard-headed. They think they know everything. And it's just like, yeah, it's just like, it's a different type of world. So I feel like once you see, like, it's working for your people, it's just like, let me just take a chance at this. And really and truly, it's just like, I know I'm going to get older one day, and I want to be well taken care of. And I'm nervous. So it's just like, let me do my part in the community to make sure I'm very well taken care of. Make sure me and the people around me are very well taken care of. Like, you know, I want to be around people who know how to communicate, control their actions, or just think about things before they do anything. Like, people be wiping their life away so fast. And it's just like, because they are young and they don't have, like, the right guidance around them.
Yeah.
So I just want to be that to, like, help somebody where I can even, like, do what I'm doing to spark something in somebody else to even help somebody else, you know?
Exactly. Like you said, I mean, what you're doing, I mean, you could build up a community of this, you know what I'm saying, just a positive movement and whatnot. Like you're saying, it will ultimately affect people, but it's gonna take more than one person though.
Yeah, you know, and really and truly, it just is all within self. Like, I feel like you have to start with you, and to start with you just have to change your habits, change your routine, change how you think, change how you move, change what you put in your body, change what you watch, change what you see. And I'm not saying you can't watch and see or do certain things that you didn't do before. You can still do that. It's just like you have to prioritize.
Yep. And like, do it in moderation too.
Yeah, do it in moderation. And that's what I realized, because we abuse a lot of things. We abuse social media on it, scrolling all day. And it's just like, you know, it's also a positive effect too. Like, if you're scrolling, looking at the right things, and it's feeding your body. But if you're looking at bullshit all day, gossip all day, who should pay for what? Like, all it is just like, you know, it's controlling how you think and how you move. And it's just like, you know, it is a real world out here. And once you tap into the real world and you actually start talking to people and seeing different things, it's just like, okay, like, this is not how the world is really operating.
No, definitely. Most definitely. Just going back to the nonprofit though, I think a common misconception with the nonprofits is that they don't work to generate money. But obviously, you know, any business or organization, you gotta have some money to stay in the game. What you think?
I do feel like, so learning about nonprofits, starting off, like, yeah, you do have to generate money, and like it's not a profit business, so it is harder to get money. Like, you have to get grants, or you have to get sponsorships or things of that nature to be able to get it. But what I told myself when I was starting this, look at all these people, all these celebrities, all these different companies and stuff. All of them have nonprofits attached. And you know why they have nonprofits attached? Because nonprofits are money makers. Really and truly. And it's a money maker in the sense that you're helping the community, but you can also write things off. And I feel like that's what it is. Like, you're doing good, but you're also gaining something from it as well. I'm still like at the beginning of it, so I'm trying to understand like how it really works. But if you think about it, hospitals are nonprofits. Grady is a nonprofit organization. IKEA. When I found out IKEA was a nonprofit organization, I was just like, what? Because IKEA is $1 million business, and they're a nonprofit organization. Billion, Boys and Girls Club, nonprofit. You know, there's so many nonprofits that you wouldn't even think of. These schools out here are nonprofit organizations, so it's just like, you know, tailoring it to the right group of people, to the right community. Like, you know, you're doing great work, but it also makes money because people do have to work for nonprofits. You do have to build a team, and you do have to pay your team, you know, a salary. You have to pay people working for you. So it does generate money, but it does have to get to that point to generate money. And for it to get to that point, you have to structure it the right way.
All right. Like you're saying, though, if you're trying to have a business and you're trying to pay yourself out $2.5 million of what y'all making, and y'all only made $3 million, that ain't gonna work.
Right. I just feel like too, my goal is like, my nonprofit is like literally like, it's like my 10%. Like, I know like my goal is like eventually like, I want to build it up to be like a silent partner. Like, I'm just like, I'm still a part of it, but like I have other people running it and doing their thing, and then like I can build my own businesses but still donate to my nonprofit organization and be able to help out still. But I want it to be its own necessity.
Most definitely. What's some challenges you faced trying to start it, or just, you know, trying to run it?
Money, funds. Like, I know my first year, I spent all my money myself. When I first did my first back to school job, I spent so much money. I'm just like, okay, like we gotta figure something else out. And money, I would say, funds, building a team, because right now I'm a one-woman show, and I do like, some people do help me out every now and then. I have my little siblings like running a social media page sometimes. I converse with a lot of different people who have nonprofit organizations. And there's a lot of different services out here for nonprofit organizations. But building a correct team, trying to get people on your advisory boards, I feel like that's very challenging. Also knowing the nonprofit business and what to write off and how things work. I feel like I'm trying to learn that. Even the tax aspect of it, I feel like that's a challenge too. I think those are the only 3 things that right now that I'm kind of having a challenge with: getting funding, finding the right people to allocate certain roles to, and also the taxes part. I did not get that whatsoever.
No, for sure. Like that tough one you said was just building up that team. It's hard to find people that's reliable nowadays, you know. Reliable,
and then like with nonprofit organizations, they can generate a lot of money. Like you can get paid for working with nonprofit organizations, but the nonprofit organization does have to be in that position. I feel like building a nonprofit to get to that point is really just a lot of volunteer work, and you just have to really be dedicated with the cause. And I feel like that's what it really is about, the cause. Like, let me make a great cause so people won't feel like it's a job or anything. It's just like, you know what, I support this cause, so I want to give like 5 hours a week or 20 hours a month or something, you know, something to help this organization grow into whatever it can grow into.
That's a good game you just gave right there. You just had me thinking, for real. Some good game. Just to switch it up though, it gets real in your 20s. Talk about it. What season 2? Where is that? What we doing?
So honestly, I started that podcast when I was in college. I was just like, I need to be out. I need to be meeting people. So I was just like, this is a fun way I can kind of meet people. And I try to grow it because I'm just like, I do like connecting with people, and I do want to I like to use my voice. I feel like a lot of times in certain places, I just felt like I was never heard. Jobs, relationships, I just feel like it's really hard to be heard sometimes. So I was just like, I want to be heard, but not even just heard. I want to be making sure like the things I'm communicating are effective, like they can help other people too. But going back to the podcast, I feel like I'm having a block right now, like a creative block. Like, I'm not sure where I want to take it. Because it has been getting real in your 20s, and I have been dealing with so much life. Life has been life into a T. And just trying to find out the time to get back into that creative space is what I'm having a challenging time with. But I will get there. Because I don't want to just leave it alone. I feel like that's something I started, and I stopped it, then I started again. So it's just something that I want to do. I just feel like sometimes you have to get to the nitty gritty and feel like, what is your why? One thing I learned in marketing You can forget the money. You can forget who you trying to be close to. You have to get to the why. That's the most important part in business and anything in life. Like, why am I doing this? What do I want to get from it? What do I want to give to it? Like, what's my why? I feel like once you figure out your why, whether the money comes or not, you'll be happy doing it. Whether the people come or not, you'll be happy doing it. Once you figure out your why, like, that's the root of all things. Why am I doing this? And once you figure out this is why, then you'll get all of that. So I have to kind of get back to my why. Like, what was my reasoning for creating this podcast?
Yeah. Now, I'm glad to hear you put it on the back burner, but you're not doing away with it. You know, because like you said, that it get real in your 20s. That's like something a lot of people need to hear. Now, whether like people in their 20s want to hear it, that's another question.
But one thing I would say is people do want to hear it.
It's good conversation.
People are nervous. People were shy. People were very sensitive, like nowadays. But one thing I realized, even like if you look, people are talking about things. A lot of people are talking about the same things. You know why? Because we're all dealing with the same things. We all are very special people. We are very special individuals, but we do have a lot of similarities. People are going through mental health. We're at that age right now. Like, parents are getting older. We're dealing with death. You know, where people are having their own family, you're dealing with marriage, divorce. Like, I have a couple of friends who've been married and divorced already, you know? So it's just like, we're dealing with so many things that we really haven't dealt with before. And sometimes, you know what, we don't know how to handle it. We don't know how to do certain things. So I do feel like communicating and what we have with social media, the internet, podcasts, blogs, like, all of those things are very, very helpful.
Yeah, that's big facts. That's big facts. Like me, I don't really watch too much TV, but I watch more podcasts than anything. Most definitely. But just staying on the topic of it get real in your 20s, I want to start with a question. So what's one L that you took, or one moment that's an L that made you sharper?
Sharper?
Yeah.
I realized too, I feel like one L that I had to take was figuring out what I would settle for and what I won't settle for. I know, like, a lot of times with jobs, so, you know, where you're working a job and you're complaining and stuff about the job, and it's just like you have to kind of deal with yourself. Like I said, I quit my job last year, and it was a cool job, but it just wasn't helping me in no areas. It was like it was a newer position for the company or whatever, so it's just like I kind of built the job to where it was at. I wasn't really getting paid and stuff, so I feel like my L that I took was like, I feel like I should have communicated that better. I feel like I communicated it, but I feel like I wasn't really being heard, so I just like, fuck it, I'm leaving. No more disrespect, I'm leaving. But I feel like one thing I learned, I wish I would have communicated better and like gave more of an outline to it. Be more of a problem solver. And then also realizing too, like, where I'm not going to settle in either. Because I realize that now, like, you have to figure out what you want and what you're not going to settle on. Because I feel like once you start settling, like, that dwindles into your whole life. You be like, well, maybe I can do this, or maybe I can do that. And it's just like, no, it's no maybe. It's just like, do you want to do this? I feel like people start settling, especially like, and they're over 25. People feel like they have to be in a rush to get married, or they have to be in a rush to do this. Like, I'm a friend. I was talking to her one day, and she was just like, you know what? Like, she was dating this guy, and she was like, I think I just might talk to him because he's not really what I want, but he got some character traits, and, you know, I wouldn't mind. I'm just like, girl, you don't even like this man.
Why are you doing that?
I think, honestly, it's just the loneliness part. I feel like right now, like, you know, we're not as young, so you're not hanging out with your friends every day. You're not talking to your friends on the phone every day. You're not bullshitting, you know? Like, we're kind of getting into our everyday life, so it does kind of feel lonely, especially if you have no kids, you have no partner. So it's just like, damn, like, where I'm supposed to be. And especially if your career is not growing, it's just like, okay, I have no partner, I have no kids, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing in my career. It's like I'm just kind of feeling lonely and lost, and I don't know which way to go. But I feel like, in hindsight, it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. So now you get to really take the time to figure out what you want to do. You can just be you. You can be a different person every day. My friend sent me a video of this TikTok, and this guy was like, when he go to different cities, he be like fabricating what he do and who he is. And she was like, this reminds me of you. And you know what? Because when I go to different cities sometimes, like, I don't really fabricate what I do or anything, but I just be like I'm not from here, like, you know, so I can have a good time. Even when I was in Atlanta, like when I would be going out in Atlanta sometimes, I used to be like, I'm not from here, and I used to have my Houston ID, and I feel like sometimes, like, you get, like, fun experience like that, you know? Like, show me, like, just be a different person. Like, every day you can work up as somebody else. this day you can be like a very introverted person, or the next day you could be very extra out and like I want to talk to this person, talk to that. But, you know, you can just create who you want to be able to create. You have a lot of time to bullshit, figure it out, fail. Like you have a lot of time to try different things to see what's your niche, what's not your niche. You know, I feel like that's what we can use to our advantage. Got
it. So, like you said, simply put, just know your worth. You know.
Know your worth, yeah.
Know your worth, for sure. What's one of the most important things you think you learned?
I think one of the most important things is having a good community around you, whether it's just one person you have around you or 5 people. But people need people, and I feel like nowadays everybody's like, I'm to myself. Like when stuff going on, I want to go ghost and stuff. And it's just like, we are human beings. We are made to socialize. Whether some people want to do it more intimately, or some people want to do it more in the crowd. We are made to socialize. We are made to love. We are made to communicate. We are made to gather together. You know, that's what we do. However it might look, you know. So I just feel like keeping good, grounded people around me, and also communicating. Like I feel like that's one thing I realized. Like people's perceptions are different, especially how they was raised, how they grew up. Like, you know, I can say something about a scenario, and you might take a different perspective from that scenario than I would take. And somebody else might take a whole different perspective from that. And it's just like, because it's our perspective. So communicating effectively so you can be heard and you can also listen too. I feel like, you know, you want to be heard. People want to be heard, but are you listening? So I feel like those are the 2 things: community and communication.
No, that's big facts. That's big facts on that and communication piece.
And God too. That's the biggest one though too. I feel like, you know, you have to have some type of foundation. And some people feel lost and lonely and all of that. But it's just like, it is a higher power out here, whether you want to admit it or not. But it has to be, you know. It's a lot of bad, but it's also a lot of greatness too. In the midst of the bullshit and bad and down times, like that's when the great sparks too, you know. So it's just like you just kind of get closer to yourself and try to get closer to God.
No, that's big facts. That's big old facts. Before we get up out of here, though, I got one little segment I want to do. It's an ATL this or that. Actually, this not even an ATL this or that, because as I'm looking at it, I'm realizing everything not ATL on here, but we'll go for it.
Okay.
Cardi or Nicki?
Oh, why do we have to choose?
You got to.
I can't. I do not like to. I'm just like.
You got to pick one.
I'm very indecisive. I feel like I really like both of them for different reasons.
All right, but if you was on an island,
in what aspect?
You on an island and you can only listen to one of them for the rest of your life.
But in what aspect? Music wise, like fashion wise, or like fun wise, just hanging out. Listening. Oh, I would say Nicki. Nicki has a lot more tracks, you know.
Got it. Okay. Future or Young Thug?
Oh, definitely Young Thug.
Why definitely Young Thug?
I'm just more of a Young Thug fan than Future fan.
For sure. 21 or Lil Baby?
Oh, that's a hard one. I feel like I would say Lil Baby, but I do like 21 Savage characteristics. I feel like he's a great man.
This is something I just thought of. Lotto or Ice Spice?
Do I have to choose between those?
All right, we'll skip that. Golden Glide or All American?
I would say All American because that's the skating ring I went to. But Golden Glide was lit too.
That's on East Side shit. All American. What? East Side. You know. Six Flags or Whitewater?
Oh, definitely Six Flags. I don't like to be in water with other people.
Okay. Stone Crusher, Soft the Cab. That face was like, nigga, neither.
Literally, like, take me somewhere else.
Okay. Cumberland.
I want to go shopping. Somewhere.
Where are you going?
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
I'll probably go to Phipps. Or I'll probably go to, honestly, Phipps or Perimeter. I feel like Perimeter is a good mall, too.
Okay, I got something there. Cumberland or Perimeter?
I would say Perimeter.
Okay. What about Lenox or Phipps?
I would say Lenox just because they're bigger and they have more stores, more options.
Okay.
I like choices.
Okay.
I like options.
American Deli or JJ Fish and Chicken?
Maybe some home cooked food.
Oh, okay. All right, for sure. But you don't fuck with none of them? You don't fuck with JJ's?
I mean, I I do, but it's just like I'm a cooker too, so like I'm very critical. I feel like that shit is like cool when you're really, really hungry or some shit, but like to really eat a good meal, like I'm just like I'm not really going there. Like I want some good food. Like so I go to 20's Thai or like I really make stuff at home though too, but like a really great meal. I like Thai food and seafood.
So let's say you finna have a dude come pull up on you, right?
Yeah.
What you finna go whip up? What's that go to?
It probably would be some salmon.
Salmon.
Some homemade mashed potatoes, some green beans with like garlic and mushrooms.
For sure.
I don't know how I would do the salmon just yet. Probably some shrimps too, like garlic butter shrimps. And some bread. I'm like a big bread eater, so like either croissants, Hawaiian rolls, biscuits, like something. And then for the drink,
you got the whole full course motherfucker laid out.
No, yeah, like you gotta have drinks, you gotta have the meal, and you gotta have a dessert. And sometimes I do dessert, and sometimes I do a little appetizer too, because you know we like to eat over here. I'm hungry now. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
You be doing it up, sound like.
Sometimes you gotta really do.
Be doing it up. All right, this is my last one. City Trends or Walmart? If you gotta go buy some clothes.
I hate Wally World.
So you rocking the City Trends fit?
No, I wouldn't go to neither one of those. I online shop, but I do not like Walmart.
What's wrong with Walmart?
I just be having bad experiences all the time there. I really don't go in there. Like if I have to, I'd be like, oh my gosh. Take me to Target, take me to Kroger's, take me to Sam's Club, take me to Trader Joe's, take me to Publix. Walmart is like the last.
Last one on the list, huh? For sure. All right. Before we get up out of here, though, you got any shout outs? You want to let the folks know where to find you at socials?
Oh, if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me at everything_Galaz. You can also follow the Bibbs Foundation at Bibbs, Bibbs Foundation. But make sure you just join our Back to School Bash. It happening July 23rd at Rodney Cook Senior Park. It's going to be a blast. We have a lot in store for the kids and parents. So I hope you guys come out.